The air in the old family dining room felt thick, like syrup clinging to my lungs. My fork froze mid-bite, mashed potatoes trembling on the tines, as my sister's voice sliced through the hum of dinner chatter. "She's been sneaking around with him," Lila said, her eyes glinting with something sharp and unfamiliar. The accusation landed like a grenade, and my parents' faces, once warm with laughter, hardened into masks of disbelief. I was 23, living at home to save for my future with Ethan, my fiancé. But in that moment, my world tilted. Lila, my little sister, my confidant, had just claimed I was cheating on Ethan with some faceless stranger. Her words echoed in my skull, each syllable a splinter. I laughed at first, a brittle sound that cracked in my throat. "Lila, what are you talking about?" My voice wavered, searching her face for the prankster grin she used to flash. But her lips pressed tight, and her gaze slid to our parents, who stared at me like I was a stranger. "I saw her," she insisted, voice low but venomous. "Late at night, texting someone. She'd leave the house, come back all secretive. I heard her whispering his name, someone who isn't Ethan." My stomach churned, the roast beef turning sour in my mouth. I hadn't been sneaking anywhere. My late nights were spent at the library, studying for my paralegal certification, or on the phone with Ethan, planning our wedding. The room felt smaller, the walls leaning in as my mother's fork clattered to her plate. "Is this true, Mara?" she asked, her voice a fragile thread. My father's silence was louder, his knuckles white around his glass. I shook my head, words tumbling out, defensive, jagged. "No, I swear, I'd never." But Lila's story had roots now, curling around their trust. She described a man I'd supposedly met at a coffee shop, her details vivid. His leather jacket, the way I allegedly blushed when he called. It was fiction, but her conviction made it feel real. Doubt flickered in my parents' eyes, and I felt it, the slow bleed of betrayal from the people who were supposed to know me best. Days later, the house was a minefield. Whispers followed me, and Lila's smug glances burned. My parents, torn between us, asked me to leave. "Just until we sort this out," my mother said, her eyes wet but resolute. I packed a bag, my hands shaking as I stuffed clothes into a duffel, the creak of the floorboards underfoot sounding like a dirge. Ethan took me in, his apartment a sanctuary of mismatched furniture and coffee mugs. But even his warmth couldn't dull the ache. Why would Lila lie? My mind spun, replaying memories, her jealousy over my engagement, her tantrums when I got attention. Had she always resented me this much? Weeks passed, and the truth unraveled in fragments. A friend mentioned seeing Lila with a guy at a bar, someone in a leather jacket who matched her fictional man. My heart thudded as I dug deeper, checking her social media, finding deleted messages she'd sent to a coworker about teaching Mara a lesson. She'd fabricated the affair to fracture my life, to make me lose everything. The realization was a knife, sharp, cold, and final. My sister, my blood, had orchestrated my exile out of spite. When Ethan and I sent out wedding invitations, I left Lila's name off. My parents, now aware of her lies, begged to be included, their apologies raw and tear-soaked. "We were wrong, Mara," my father said, his voice breaking over the phone. "We should have trusted you." But the wound was still fresh, and I hesitated, my finger hovering over the send button for their invites. Ethan squeezed my hand, his eyes steady. "It's your call," he said, but I heard the unspoken question. Could I forgive? The night before the wedding, Lila showed up at my door, mascara streaking her cheeks. "I was jealous," she sobbed. "You had everything, Ethan, a future. I wanted to feel important." Her confession was a storm, tearing through my resolve. I wanted to scream, to shove her out, but her trembling hands and broken voice mirrored my own pain. I let her talk, let her spill her guilt, but when she asked to come to the wedding, I froze. "I can't," I whispered, my voice a stranger's. "Not yet." The door clicked shut, and I sank to the floor, Ethan's arms around me as I wept for the sister I'd lost, the family I'd rebuilt, and the trust that might never heal. Tomorrow, I'd walk down the aisle, but tonight, The weight of betrayal anchored me to the ground, a ghost I couldn't outrun.